a scorpion and a frog standing on the bank of a river. And the scorpion comes up to the frog and says, "Hey, mister, could you ferry me across the river?" The frog says, "You're a nice guy, and, I'd love to give you a ride across the river, but I can't trust you. I don't know that you won't sting me and kill me, and then we'll both drown." And the scorpion says, "Now, why would I do that?" And the frog says, "Well, I don't know, you're a scorpion." The scorpion says, No, it'll be fine. Just ferry me across the river." So the frog says, "Okay," and the scorpion gets on the frog's back. And about halfway through the river, the scorpion stings the frog, and they both start to drown. And right before they both drown, and right before the frog dies, he looks at the scorpion. He goes, "Now, why'd you go and do that?" And the scorpion says, "Well, I'm a scorpion. It's in my nature."
The end.
At the end. It's a story about not really fighting things that aren't in your power,
I was raised knowing that I was adopted, that Freddie and Deborah were not my birth parents. My father, in the late 80s and 90s, was taking in kids who didn't have anywhere to go. There wasn't much child safety in South Louisiana. Places, safe homes, that kind of stuff. And one of these girls fell pregnant once after she had moved out of the house. So she entrusted me to Freddie and Deborah. That worked out pretty well because they were trying to have another kid and couldn't. But always in the back of my head, I kind of wondered, okay, what's going on out there? Who's my mom? Who's my dad? Yada, yada, yada. And as I got older, I would go over to a friend's house and I'd meet their mom and I'd meet their dad. And I could look at their face and I could look at the parents' faces and see parts of them. I could see that physical resemblance and even in personality at times, how these friends of mine looked and acted like their parents. My biological father overdosed. I don't know on what, but he overdosed in 2003. And it didn't hit me till a lot later that I was never going to meet my biological father. When I went to college, when I started going to college in Savannah, it started to become a really big deal for me that I wanted to meet these people. My biological mother and her husband come to Jacksonville for a few days. And I was really worried, like the hour up until I saw her, that it was going to be some kind of big emotional she was going to cry and be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," and put all this shit on me that I didn't really want to deal with. But it wasn't like that at all. I walked into the restaurant, and as soon as I saw her, the second I saw her, I knew. And it was really surreal. The big conversation hit. I brought it up. I told her, I was like, "Look, April, this is coming. I can't not ask you about it. But I want to know about the father. I want to know about the dad." She told me his name. She told me he drove a muscle car, worked in the oil fields like most young men in South Louisiana do. She said he was an asshole, a drunkard, a drug abuser, and a really unpleasant guy. Part of his reputation is he had been known in South Louisiana for never losing a knife fight, which makes me the bastard son of a Creole knife fighter. Pretty interesting, right? And oddly enough, the first thing she said after we met and we had our little hug, which was really heavy to hear, she said, "You look just like him." She said, "You look just like him."
How